Recessions can adversely impact Social Security's long-term financial health 3 different ways. First, the payroll tax revenue, it may be affected. The payroll tax brings in most of the program's revenue, and during recessions, it's not uncommon for the unemployment rate to rise and for workers to lose the wage guard bargaining power. If a recession adversely impacts payroll tax collection, it can accelerate the timeline to reduce the benefits. That means less people will be getting stimulus checks. Now folks, here's the most important stimulus, Social Security news, and stimulus information that you want. Continue watching this video so you don't miss out on this. Current inflation rate, economists are expecting that Social Security checks will only increase a small amount next year. This is a big issue as millions of Americans rely on the program. Democrats are meeting and trying to come up with ways to prevent a drastic decrease in monthly benefits. For most retired Americans though, Social Security isn't just some check that comes in the mail or is deposited into their checking account once monthly. Rather, it's a vital source of income that helps seniors make ends meet. The program is responsible for pulling nearly 22 million people out of poverty each year, 16 million of which are adults ages 65 and up. And since 2002, at least 80% of surveyed retirees have told the National Pollster that Social Security benefit is a major or minor source of income. And because of the important role Social Security plays in the financial well-being of seniors during retirement, there's arguably no more event more than anticipated in the program's annual COLA during the second week of October every single year. Social Security's COLA is the raise that the program passes along to beneficiaries most years to account for inflation. The rising price of goods and services, raises in quotation marks to represent that this is an increase in benefits designed to match the rate of inflation and not to outpace it, which can happen with a more traditional raise from an employer. The program has had an inconsistent inflationary tether with the CPIW. The CPIW was a handful measure that spending categories and list of subcategories last year. These weighings are what allows the cost of living adjustment to be calculated, and Social Security's COLA for the current year is historically high. This 8.7% increase has received the biggest year-over-year percentage increase in benefits in 41 years. The average retiree enjoyed a yearly $150 increase to the monthly Social Security check in 2023, but a roughly 2 to 3% COLA would equate to a more modest $37 to $55 boost per check, and based on a report released last year, the purchasing power for a Social Security dollar has declined by an almost 40% since 2000. What $100 in Social Security income could buy in 2000 now can buy only $60 worth in today's economy. And currently, lawmakers in the U.S. are considering changes to this entitlement program just to make sure things can go well for the people. Now, currently, people can retire as early as 62 and receive the benefits earlier than that. But what's important to note is that not until age 70 that the highest amount of benefits are awarded for the delayed retirement credit, even though the full retirement age is currently 67 for most people. So the economists are pushing for a $8,000 fourth stimulus check, everybody. This will be a one-time inflation relief check, and these checks could be automatically deposited to eligible households and Americans that receive the monthly benefit checks. So, for instance, New Mexico is already sending out $400 checks. Another state like Maine is sending out $800 payments. So, everybody, it's pretty good to see that President Biden, Republicans and Democrats and governors are doing what it takes to send out stimulus payments and help out the American people and send out stimulus checks before it's too late, because President Biden definitely has the authority to do so. We're just waiting on President Biden to take some action. But now a total of 3 rounds of stimulus checks were deposited into people's bank accounts over the past several years in order to help people and shield people from the devastating effects of the crisis. But the crisis has not stopped affecting millions of people's lives. For instance, Americans will spend thousands of dollars in extra money this year, in part due to the after effects of the crisis. And many are hoping from the federal government that they will take action to help defray the big expenses with another stimulus payment. Since the crisis has led to surging inflation, which has impacted many families and senior citizens. Factors that are causing inflation to be at a 40-year high. Crisis-related supply chain disruptions and increased demand for goods and services, and following an extended lockdown are 2 of the leading reasons why prices have gone up so much this year. The U.S. Congress actually said that in a report they showed that how much prices have risen for the typical household, and the numbers are not good. It's bad, everybody. According to the data, even if prices stop going up for the rest of the year, the inflation that has already been happening means that the average American household has already paid around $10,000 more in the past 12 months for these overpriced goods. That's a huge sum of money, and it's the money that most people cannot even afford, especially if their jobs are disrupted or stagnant. And with Americans out of so much cash, many people believe the federal government should step up to provide checks that would cover these costs and losses. According to some economists, if lawmakers wanted to even out the cost for Americans, they would need to send out $8,000 relief checks. Other economists say that even higher payments might need to be sent. If prices continue going up instead of remaining stagnant through the remainder of 2022, something has to be done. People can relief packages have also been provided for thousands of families, and the good news is that many states are recognizing that inflation has been detrimental, and they're sending out money to help residents cope with this. So while the payments being sent are smaller than the $8,000 checks, at least those in states that are offering aid will get some support to cover the huge extra expenses in inflation and it's causing families to incur some difficulties. So, according to New Mexico, for example, low-income households in New Mexico have less than a week to apply for a fourth stimulus check worth at least $400. And the latest stimulus checks are being administered by the New Mexico Human Services Department. Its state is accepting applications until 5 p.m. on October 7th, and the fourth check is also intended for low-income households. A spokesperson said that depending on the number of eligible applicants, the funds can be distributed accordingly, and our hope is that we get a good amount of applications in so we can serve them and help out the people that need the checks the most. So it's good to see that some states are actually doing some good action and sending out stimulus payments. Good to know. So here, everybody, this is what you want. This is what I need you to know. New Mexico's Department of Finance and Administration is actually starting to send payments also to approved applicants, that is, before the end of November, and applicants who are chosen for this payment will be informed by the confirmation. So state officials, for instance, will also prioritize homes with the lowest incomes. However, the officials have not clarified which households as low income do not have a setting maximum income for this eligibility payment. Now, Maine residents may be eligible to receive up to $850 in crisis relief checks thanks to a surplus in the state budget and offering some financial assistance to address inflation-induced economic strains. About 858,000 Mainers will be eligible for relief check so long as they fill the necessary paperwork just to claim the payment by the end of this month. So to qualify, applicants must be a full-year resident and file their last year's return by the end of this month as well. So people are actually getting stimulus payments and stimulus checks are being sent out.
Or OPM develops and administers human capital policies for the federal workforce and functions as the bedrock of our nation's personnel and management efforts across the executive branch, while the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs, also known as OIRA, serves as the central authority for the review and coordination of federal regulations. Mr. Shriver, if confirmed, you will be OPM's Deputy Director charged with setting the policies for more than 1.8 million dedicated public servants, which will require agency leadership that can build confidence in OPM and maintain a nonpartisan, merit-based workforce that serves every American. The Deputy Chief Human Resources Officer is a significant undertaking, and I believe your extensive experience in public service, including current and prior experience at OPM, will help you provide it